Hi, this is Karen Jones. I'm a figurative oil painter and an art coach, and I actually used to own a yoga studio a while ago, but this is my daily yoga practice. It's great for all levels. It's simple, it's only half an hour long. Feel free to send me a message if you have any questions about this or paintings or art coaching. Welcome. So, I like to begin on my back. Do yoga outside if you can. It really is fantastic. If there are no bugs crawling on your face, lay on your back and tuck your tailbone under. You can bring the soles of your feet together if you like, and really settle into the ground. Feel the earth underneath you. Feel your arms laying on the ground. You can turn your head to the right, to one side. Just settle in. I like to turn it to the right and then to the left, but it's not entirely necessary. Find your breath and breathe into your belly. Inhaling and exhaling. Just become aware of your surroundings, aware of your environment. Take a scan of your entire body and notice if there is anywhere in your body that is holding on to tension or holding on to issues in your tissues. Just take a body evaluation time. And then come to gentle, easy breathing. You can tuck your chin a little bit. Bring the soles of your feet to the sky and the palms of your hand. I always take a moment and give it all up to the universe. Make sure that the back of your hips and the back of your shoulders are connected to the earth, and there's a small arch in your lower back and the back of your neck. Breathe into your hands and your feet. If your hamstrings are tight, you can bend your knees a little bit. Now bring the soles of your feet to the floor and cross your right leg over your knee, kind of like boys sit, I always say, but that's kind of weird. Push away your knee and then reach through and grab hold of your left shin. Now breathe into this. Now gently, you can also just grab onto the back of your left thigh too, if your hamstrings are too tight. Now make sure the back of your hips are settled into the ground and stretch this out. Breathe into it. Don't tug too hard. Just release your hips. Release both hips. Make sure your right knee is not bending in and that your calf is parallel to the ground. Do both sides. Cross your left ankle onto your right knee. Push away your left knee and then reach through and grab on to your right shin. Making sure the back of your shoulders and the back of your hips are settled into the ground. Take some big, slow inhalations and exhalations. Just loosening up and releasing any stress you have in your hips. Flexing your feet too. Whatever happens in your feet and ankles happens in your hips. Take a few more letting go breaths. In through your nose and long exhalations out into the earth. Now release that, and I like to bring my nose to my knees and then bring the soles of your feet back to the ground. Now cross your right leg over your left. I say like girls sit, but that's all wrong, And then lift up your hips and turn your knees to the left. Make sure your left hip, the outside of it, is on the ground. Your spine feels straight. You can stretch your arms out. Feels like your chest is open. Your neck is straight. There's still a little little curve in the back of your neck. This is great for a sciatic. Take some big, deep inhalations and exhalations, just relaxing and breathing into this right hip. Taking a good stretch that goes kind of all the way up your thigh and around your hip. Now uncross that and come back to center, and I like to, in between, release, taking my nose to my knees. Now take your left leg and cross it over your right knee like girl sit. And then lift your hips up off the ground and take your knees to the right. This is a great stretch. I do this stretch every day. I do this yoga practice every day, and then I follow it up with a meditation. Taking that long stretch all the way around your hip. And this, take a few big letting go breaths. Making your exhalation longer than your inhalation, really trying to release any tension you carry in your hips. Inhaling in and exhaling longer than your inhalation. One more breath. Sometimes I like to stay here all day. It feels great. Really with your chest open. Now come back to center, uncross your legs, bring your nose to your knees and release that, kind of balancing your whole body back out again. Now bringing your arms alongside your body. With your soles of your feet together, pull your heels in really close into your butt, and then lift your hips up off the ground into bridge pose. Keeping your chin nice and tucked. Now don't move your head from the left to the right, making sure there's a natural arch in the back of your neck. Pulling your knees together, lifting your hips up. Your arms are extended and planted onto the ground. If you're familiar with this pose, you can tuck your hands up under your hips and lift your feet up in the air, but if you're not, it's no big deal. There's nowhere to get. It's just a practice. Now if your feet are in the air, you can flex your feet and make sure your elbows are tucked, pulled closer together and not sprawling out too far. Nice, slow and gentle breathing here. You can take your toes over your head if you're familiar with that. Making sure to support your lower back while you're doing that, and then roll down the spine one vertebrae at a time and take your knees to your nose. Now coming all the way up into a seated position, spinning around into table pose. Oh, wait, not doing that. You can see how I'm sitting on my heels and taking my hands behind my back, grasping your fists together, letting your shoulders roll down your spine and taking your fists to the ground closer and letting your chest, this is a real big, nice chest opener. Inhaling, making sure your spine is straight and your tailbone's a little tucked, but your spine all the way from your tailbone all the way up to the top of your head is nice and straight. A few long inhalations and then leaning over, taking the top of your head to the ground and letting your arms come over your head. Making sure you feel nice and stable. A lot of letting go breaths here. I like to dump all my issues, all my bad issues into the ground. Inhaling in through my feet, around my hips and down and out my head. This is great to do in the afternoon too, to kind of give yourself a little boost of energy. Inhaling in through your feet, around your hips, and down and out the top of your head. Now releasing that and coming into child's pose with my knees spread nice and wide and just soft belly. And I always like to ask I would say, little Karen, is there anything you need? Since I'm in child pose, is there anything you need today? Ask myself if I need anything and let go. And then lifting up and taking your hands to the right, a nice gentle twist to the right, letting some oxygen get into the spaces in between the ribs on the left side of your body. A few big deep breaths here, letting go. And then go to the other side, breathing into the spaces in between the right side of your rib cage. Gentle breathing. Letting go. Getting some oxygen hidden into those trapped places in your body. Now coming to table pose, cat, tucking your chin and tucking your tailbone, and then cow, or whatever you call them. You can call them whatever you want. Back and forth, just tucking your tailbone and your chin, and then looking up to the sky, kind of just swaying your spine back and forth, open and closed, getting some movement in between each of your vertebrae. Then tuck your toes under and come up into down dog. A nice long stretch from the palm of your hands all the way up to your tailbone. You can walk it out a little bit to loosen up your hamstrings with your heels off the ground a little bit. There's a nice long angle from your hands all the way up to your tailbone. Let it just release. Taking your chest to the ground, your head is comfortable and relaxed. Your feet are about a foot's width apart. Breathe into the back of your legs, the back of your heart center. Now come into plank pose. Nice strong arms. Remember your elbows, keep them strong. Don't let them flail out. Feel like you're parallel to the earth. Stay strong and steady. You can stay here as long as you like. Breathing in and breathing out. Now lower down, keeping those elbows in. I like to hover a little bit. And then resting onto the ground and bringing your forearms to the ground. A nice gentle back bend. Letting the whole front from your pelvic bone all the way up to your face, kind of a long stretch out. Looking forward, gazing softly, a back bend with a heart opener. Making sure to keep your legs parallel. Now tuck your toes under, come up into plank pose. Strong, and then back up into down dog. Breathing into the back side of your heart and letting your heart open and expand. Your head is loose. And now walking forward into forward bend. You don't have to have your hands on the ground. You can put them on your shins. You can have your legs slightly bent and then come all the way up into standing with your hands above your head. Now turning sideways on your mat, take a moment to feel the earth beneath you. Reach your hands over your head and feet planted on the ground, and then lift up onto your toes. A nice simple balance pose, remembering to breathe. Find a focal spot to look at to keep your stable steadiness. Stay as long as you like. Gentle breathing. If your mind wanders, it makes you unstable. Then come around to the front of your mat. Namaste. Find your space again on the earth. Now look up, taking your hands over your head, maybe a small back bend, forward bend, head to knees. Now look forward, flat back, and then forward bend again. Reach your right foot back, your left foot back, and come into down dog. Really taking your tailbone to the sky. Feeling like the letter A. Your feet are about a few inches off the ground. Now come into plank pose. Strong arms, elbows steady tucked in. Lower your plank all the way to the ground. Up dog. Open heart. Down. Lowering all the way down. Then up dog again. Tuck your toes under. Come all the way up into down dog. 3 gentle breaths. Or 5. Stay as long as you like. Right foot forward, left foot forward, forward bend. You can take your hands behind your calves if you like. Or to the ground. Look forward, flat back. You can have your knees slightly bent if your hamstrings are tight. Nice gentle breaths in and out. Come all the way up to standing, hands over your head. And then come back, roll your shoulders a little bit, hands behind your back, grab your fists. Let your shoulder blades roll down your spine and breathe into your heart. See how big you can get your heart with your breath. Now release and come sideways on your mat with feet, legs distance apart. Your feet are parallel, your hands are your hips. Tuck your tailbone and then forward bend. Hands to the ground. Let's do a little twist here. Take a few breaths here. You can walk your hands, fingers in line with your toes and do a nice gentle forward bend. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Straight arms. Take your right hand to the ground and turn your fingers to the left. Your left hand to the back of your back, and then take it straight up. Do a nice twist. This pose always makes you remember to look in all directions and see things from a different perspective. Nice, steady, slow breaths. Feeling like your spine is straight and there's just a gentle twist in your whole entire spine. And then unwind and come back to center, taking your left hand to the center and turning your fingers to the right and your right hand to your lower back and twist to the right. Letting your right hand go all the way up to the sky, a nice star. Your spine is straight and gently twisting all the way from your tailbone to the top of your head. Nice steady breaths. Inhale and exhale. Feel the breeze on your face. Feel your environment around you. And then unwind, come back to center. And maybe another forward bend. Let the whole world fall out the top of your head. Let all your worries go away. Then your hands to your hips and inhale all the way back up to standing. Now turn your right toes to the right, a triangle pose, and your left heel back. Reach to the right and then hand to your shin with your left hand straight up. Feel like the whole back side of your body is up against the wall. It's all on the same plane. Nice gentle breaths. Soften both sides of your rib cage. Inhaling steady. Find a focal point. I always like to close my eyes here and then sometimes I tip over. Inhale all the way back up to standing and then let's take your right thigh parallel to the ground, warrior pose, looking out over your right hand. Nice gentle breaths in warrior pose. Maybe smile. Feel strong, like you are a warrior. To take that into your rest of your day, you can take your right elbow to your right knee if you want to do a long stretch, taking your left hand diagonally straight up to the sky. A long stretch all the way from your left heel all the way up to your left hand, opening up that entire side of your body. Unwind and then let's switch sides. Triangle pose to the other side. Left toes out, right heel back. Reach to the left and then lower down. Taking your right hand all the way up to the sky and your left hand to your shin. Feeling like the entire back side of your body is up against the wall, all in the same plane. Your heart's open. Find a nice steady gaze and remember your breath. You can tuck your chin and look up to your right hand if you like, but you don't have to. Come back to center and then warrior pose. Your left thigh is parallel to the ground. Your right heel's back. Your arms are stretched out and you're gazing out over your left hand. Feeling like a warrior to take it into the whole rest of your day. Strong and fierce. Nice gentle breaths. You can take your left elbow to your left knee if you want and do a long stretch from your right hand all the way to your right heel. You can tuck your chin and look up under your arm if you want. Nice gentle steady breaths. Inhale in, exhale out. Now come back to center. Turn your toes to the forward. Feet are parallel and come back to standing pose, legs together. Namaste, palms together. Find your space again. Inhale all the way up to the sky. Look up, palms together. Swan dive all the way down, taking your nose to your knees, hands to the ground. Inhale, look up, flat back. Nice long stretch in the back of your calves, the back of your legs. Now forward bend. Really taking your tailbone to the sky. Letting any more worries or stress fall into the ground, out the top of your head. Inhaling from the soles of your feet all the way up your legs and then down your spine and out the top of your head into the ground. You can also inhale in some earth energy to take with you into the rest of your day. Now slowly roll up the spine one vertebrae at a time, all the way to the top. Namaste, palms together. Find your space, find your standing, find your breath. Now come down to a seated position. You can come with your soles of your feet together and your knees apart. Spine nice and straight. All the way from your tailbone to the top of your head. Extend a nice long breath. Feel the stretch in your inner thighs. You can look up, take your chin to your sky, and then roll over like a big O, taking your head to your toes. Feel the stretch in your inner thighs. You can take and push your knees down with your elbows. Inhaling in through your spine and out the top of your head. Stretching all the muscles on either side of your spine. And then roll up the spine and come back to center. Now come into just cross-legged position. Feel yourself connected to the ground. Your spine's nice and straight. Your shoulders are rolled back. Oh, don't forget to sneeze. You can come in your palms just on your knees. Like take some nice long breaths all the way up your spine from your tailbone to the top of your head. Taking another scan of your entire body. Notice if there's anything tight or holding on. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. Just stretching out the left side of your neck. Breathing all the way up the left side of your neck. And exhaling out any stress you have. I hold a lot of my worries and self-doubt in my shoulders. This is a good time to get rid of that. And you take your left ear to your left shoulder, doing the same side, stretching out the right side of your neck. Getting rid of any of those worries or self-doubts, sabotaging beliefs. Letting it all go, all the tension, and come back to center. Take your chin to your chest. Breathe all the way up the back of your neck, releasing any neck tension. Breathing from your tailbone all the way up to the top of your head and back down. And come back to center. Stretch out your hands. You can take your palms to the ground and just stretch out your hands and your palms however you like. You know, there's nothing specific. You can stretch out each finger. I like to get my hands all ready for painting each day. So I do a really extra stretching of my wrists and hands and palms and fingers and shoulders a little bit. Do some wrist circles. Saying, hello, let's get ready to paint. Roll your shoulders a little bit up and back and down your spine. Your heart open. Spine nice and straight. Closing your eyes. Come to your breath. Feeling the relaxation in your body. Feeling the peace, the gentleness. And now take your left hand straight out, all the way around and behind you as a support, and do a gentle twist to the left. Taking your right hand to your left knee. Breathing all the way up your spine to the top of your head and all the way back down. Several long breaths. Picture putting some space in between each vertebrae. Lengthening your spine on each inhalation and relaxing on each exhalation. Inhale long and slow. Long and slow breaths. Unwind and come back to center, and we'll do it to the other side. A nice twist. Find your center, taking your right hand straight out all the way around and putting it right behind your back as a support, and taking your left hand to your right knee. Nice gentle twist to the right. Inhaling a nice long spine and exhaling, relax a little bit more into your twist with each breath. Take several cycles of breath with this twist. Inhaling from the tailbone all the way up to the top of your head and exhaling down your spine into the earth. Putting space in between each vertebrae. Inhaling long and exhaling slow. Inhaling long and exhaling slow. And unwind and come back to center. Find your space in the universe. Breathe into your heart. You can rest your hands on your knees in whichever way is comfortable. Do a hand mantra if you're familiar with those. Think about the love energy. Inhaling love into your left hand, up your left arm, past your heart, through your love and out your right hand in a big circle of energy. Inhaling in through your left hand, up your arm, past your heart, and then out your right arm of love and energy. Think the perfect circular energy of love. And then you can come back to center, or you can stay with your hands on your knees, or bring your hands in your lap, gently resting, feeling your space in the universe, feeling your peace, gentleness, and calmness. Take a scan of your entire body and breathe relaxation breath into each part of your body. Inhaling in through your nose, exhaling slow and gentle. Coming into a meditation, you can pause here and end your yoga practice today and do a shavasana, or you can move on into a 20 or 30 minute, whatever, or 5-minute meditation after this. Namaste.